Hi, I'm Lisa Wallen with Directional Learning, and I welcome you teachers and parents to our Teacher Parent Edition. Today, we're going to be decoding words that have blends. Well, in the last video, you learned how to decode CVC words using our pictures here, like this word rat here. You find the red letter, you look next door. If there's a blue fly there, it's going to cry its baby sound, so you grab the baby stick, the short stick, and then now you know the sounds. R-at. The word is rat. Well, we're moving on to larger words here. Can you see? And our larger words have more blue flies. So what do we do if there's a blue fly there? You find the red letter, you look next door. If there's a blue fly there, then it cries its baby sound. Pretty easy. But in order to decode this word, you have to know your blends. So there's blends here in the beginning and there's blends at the end. So today we're going to be working on our L blends, our S blends, our R blends, and our ending blends. All these blends are going to be in our words that we decode, but it should be super easy for the student if they know their blends. Now, if they don't know their blends, then guess what? We have videos that show you how to teach your student the L blends, the S blends, the R blends, and the ending blends. We're moving on to larger words. So for this, all you need is a whiteboard, you need a marker, an eraser, and you can go to directionallearning.com. You can download our clip art so your student can decode. All right, let's go do some more decoding. Okay, we're going to review before we start decoding, and we'll review with these shapes first down here. So remember, the red letter is the vowel, the blue letter is the consonants. We call the blue letter the blue flies. So remember, if you have a red letter here, what would happen if there was a blue fly next door, parked here? What kind of sound will the red letter make? Well, remember, because there's a blue fly there, it's going to cry its baby sound. Which one's the baby stick? This one here. So that's also known as the short sound. Okay, so it'll make its short sound if there was a letter there. Now, what would happen if we took away the blue fly? So let's take away the blue fly. Then it gets to scream its letter name, its long sound. Notice there's a long stick there, so it will make its long sound. Okay, now that you practice with the shapes, now what you're going to do is you're going to practice with actual letters for the student. So let's move this if we can. And then let's put a letter there. So maybe we'll take this letter here and we'll park a blue fly next door. What kind of sound would it make if there was a blue fly there? It's going to cry its baby sound because there's a blue fly there. So you get the baby stick or the short stick, and now it will make its short sound. And its short sound is ah, ah. Remember, that's a dentist sound, ah. And then what would happen if we took away the blue fly? What kind of sound would it make? There's nobody next door. Well, then it gets to scream its letter name, and it gets to say, oh, oh. And remember, this line here is the long sound, a long stick, long sound. So then you can practice long sounds and short sounds. Okay, so let's review with the student. So we did a CVC word with them, and now we're going to be moving to ccvc. So the only thing different is there's an extra consonant or extra blue fly in there. Everything else is going to be the same. So if they were to decode this word, right, you would look for the red letter, which is the vowel. That's the house. Then you look next door. There's a blue fly. That's what that dot is. And then if there's a blue fly there, you have to determine which sound stick to use. That tells them the sound of the letter. So if there's a blue fly there, it's going to cry its baby sound. That's the baby stick. So that's the stick you would grab. And it's called the short stick, short sound. So then they would touch it, ap, cap. The word is cap, right? Now, if I made it a ccvc word for them, I would add an extra letter. And usually, there are two letters that kind of belong together. This is a blend here. So you can see that's the extra letter here. So really, there's no difference when you decode. You find the red letter, okay? You look next door, there's still a blue fly there, short sound. So when you add an extra consonant in the front of the word or the beginning of the word, it's not going to change the decoding. So this is going to say, this is going to be a blend, kl. That's how you blend. You say each sound and then you blend it fast. Kl, ap. So the word is clap for the student. So by us moving to these, my point is, by us moving to these ccvc words, They're not anything different to decode. You still find the red letter, you look next door. They're going to be short sounds. How do we know? Because there's a blue fly next door. So really, the only thing that we're practicing with them is the blending on these words. They have to know if it's a blend or if it's a digraph, but today we're not working on digraphs. We're mainly working on blends for them. So that's what you would do. Another ccvc word with a student. Now this ccvc, this is just for you. I don't usually tell my student this is a ccvc. I just think it's not needed. What's needed is them to know that it is a one syllable word and it has blends in the beginning of the word, but they will figure that out once they start numbering the word and then decoding it. And remember, we're doing all this numbering in the beginning so that it teaches them that words have a beginning, middle, and end, and same thing with the syllable, a beginning, middle, end, and that we use all these shapes here so they can decode too, but pretty soon they'll be able to do it, just do it, okay? So this is just a good way to show them. It makes a great picture for them, okay? So first thing I would do is I'd have them number it, okay? And it's pretty simple. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 letters, and I have 3 parking spots. So all these letters have to be parked in these parking spots. So that tells me if I have 4 letters, I have an extra one, so 2 of them are going to belong together. So you can tell them that blends usually belong in the beginning or the end, okay? Do you see anything that belongs together? I usually tell them. And usually, sometimes they'll pick it out and they'll say here, or maybe they know there are blends, okay? Or it looks familiar to them. So, but if not, you can tell them this is an R blend because it has the R in it. Okay, so if they haven't taken our blends, or if you haven't watched our video on blends, we teach you how to teach the student blends too. So, but if you haven't watched it yet, I'll show you how to do a blend. Okay, so this would be the beginning sound, this would be the middle sound, right? So that would be number 2, and this would be the ending sound. That's what our numbers mean. Then they're going to find the red letter. They're going to look next door. There's a blue fly, so it's going to cry. It's baby sound, so a short stick. And then they can touch it and say the sounds. But in order to do a word like this, they have to know this blend here. So this is our R blend. And R blends, I have kids that come in my office and they'll say this is fur. So then if they say this is fur og, they can't really hear the word frog. So that's why for our blends, this sound right here should be ra. Okay, so then now we bring it together. Fra, fra, og, frog. So that's the importance of teaching our blends quickly, or the correct way. So this is fra, og, because then it makes a word for them. Okay, and I'll show them too. I'll say, if we pronounce this fur, og, what am I saying? Fur, og? Does that sound like frog? It doesn't. That's why we pronounce our blends like that. So just do it in isolation first, and that's what a blend is. You're going to say this sound, f, ra, and then say it fast, fra. That's what a blend is. You say each sound, and then you blend it, say it really quick. Same thing if you're hearing it. You're going to hear this sound, f, then this sound, ra, and then fra together, okay? So that's what a blend is. That's how you teach it, okay? So that's... And then, you know, you can ask, there's 1 red letter, so you built a 1-syllable word. You built a 1-syllable word with 2 blends in the beginning of the word, okay? So then you can go through this list here that I have for you, and you can plug in words there for them to decode, and they can practice their blends too. And then, yeah, pretty easy, right? It's easy because the decoding's just like the CVC words. You find the red letter, you look next door, and there's a blue fly there. And there's a blue fly there. So that's all you have to do, okay, with the students. So you can practice these words, you can throw in some nonsense words, and then we're going to move on to our next type of word. And basically, it's the same thing. Okay, so now we're moving on to this type of word here. It's still your cvcc word, but notice that your blends are at the end of the word, so it's still no different for decoding. Decoding is going to be the same way. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 letters, 3 parking spaces. So which 2 are the blends? Usually if they're an older student, like I said, they'll be able to do it. If not, you can help them out. This is the beginning sound, this is the middle, and these 2 belong together, okay? And then they're gonna find the red letter, pretty easy. Look next door, there's a blue fly, so it's gonna cry its baby sound, short sound. And then they're gonna touch it, pest, pest, the word is pest. And how many red letters? There's 1 red letter. Remember, you're working on blends, so you can remind them, st, st, blend it together like that, pest, pest. The word is pest, and make sure they're sliding their hand as they're blending or they're touching each letter, or they can use a pen or a lifesaver, and then they blend. So you can see there's words here for them to practice. You can throw in some nonsense words for them. Pretty easy concept. Nothing has changed. Find the red letter, look next door. Okay, we're going to teach them ccvcc words. That's a mouthful, I know. Remember, this pattern here is just for you, so you can find a list of words for them. I usually don't use that term with a student. And something else I wanted to tell you, you could also use wooden letters. You can put them on a whiteboard just like this, and then you could put a red line underneath it, and then they can still decode using our shapes too. And remember, they can use their pen and pencil to make the shapes, or they can use the shapes that you provide them. And we have shapes at directionallearning.com for them to be able to decode. So here's our shapes. Okay, so something I would do is, if it was a younger student, you can do wooden letters, just like I said, so that you can move them around and show them that you're going to have blends in the beginning and the end. Okay, so first thing I do is I say, let's number this word. Let's number this word first. Remember, we have 3 parking spots. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. That means we have to park them all in these 3 parking spots. So that tells me that you're going to have probably blends in the beginning and blends in the end. So let's number it. So here's our first sound, and they know that ST live together. That's a blend. And this would be our middle sound here. And then our MP is a blend too. It's an ending blend. It lives at the end. And see how I moved the letters for them? So that works really well for the students that really need to move letters too, or see them moved. Okay, so it's a great way you can do it. Okay, then I'd have them decode it. So I'd say, look for the red letter. There's a red letter there. There's a blue fly next door. So it's going to cry its baby sound, its short sound, because there's a fly there. Okay, and then if they don't know their blends, you can show them. Remember, you're going to say this sound, and blend it really quick. So you'll hear both sounds. St, blend it, st. Okay, and here's another blend. Blend, mp, mp. So that's how you say it. And then they can touch it and say the word by blending it all together. So this is st, amp, stamp. The word is stamp. How many red letters do you hear? 1. So it's a 1 syllable word. Okay, so, I have a list of ccvcc words, blends in the beginning, blends in the end. Remember, you can always have diagraphs in it too, but today we're just working on blends with the student. So here's a list here. You can make your own list as well. So now you taught your student how to decode ccvcc words. It's pretty simple. So you can tell I have a different type of word here. These are VC words, and it's just a vowel and a consonant. So you can tell we started off with a vowel first, then a consonant. And guess what? We decode them the same way, because if we were to number this, it's the same thing. It has a beginning sound, it has an ending sound. There's no middle sound. There's 1 red letter, because that's the first thing we do is look for the red letter. And then we look next door. There's a blue fly, so it's going to do its short sound. And then they touch it and say the word. Same thing, you can even ask them how many red letters. 1, they built a 1 syllable word. So it may look different because it starts off with a vowel, but we decode it the same way. It's still that same sequence. You look for the red letter, you'll look next door. So nothing has changed, but you always want to do these types of words with them so that they understand the concept of decoding. You always find the red letter and you look next door. So you can practice a few with them on that. So now we're going to show them how to decode a different type of word. Now notice that this word here has, I call them twins. Notice that there's twins in the word. Well, we do something different when there's twins in the word, but it's a simple concept. So I would have them First, I would say, okay, let's decode this word. Let's look for the red letter. Nothing has changed. You look for the red letter. Look next door. There's a blue fly there. Now, notice in this word that we have twins. I call them twins. Notice the letters are the same. Now, when the letters are the same, we do something different, okay? Notice that there's a twin there. Well, we cover the twins up with these blue flies because it's a blue fly letter, right? So you cover them up, and guess what? When you cover them up, this last twin here can't speak because there's blue flies around him. So he's quiet. He remains quiet. So when we read the word, we read it like this. Ah, because it's a short sound. D, add. The word is add. And right, we forgot to put our short sound. So make sure they put their short sound there. And you read it, add, add. Notice we don't hear from this twin because he's quiet. We don't say add, duh. We say add, add. The word is add. So that's how you decode a word that has twins. The last twin is quiet. And this is going to be helpful when we get to larger words for them to decode as well. So that's what you want to do. So you can decode other words with them that have twins for practice. Let's do this word here. So same thing. They find the red letter. They look next door. There's a blue fly. It's going to be a short sound. So the word is, oh, and there's a blue fly, and there's twins there. Notice they're twins. They're the same letter. So you cover them up. That one can't speak. And the word is off, off. The word's off. You can have them number it too. Probably wondering about that. This is the first sound. Okay, and what I would do is I would go ahead and park both twins in the same parking spot. So we have a beginning sound and we have an ending sound. So just park the twins together, okay? And later they're going to be separated. And that's how I would teach twins to them, okay? You could do bigger words too. I didn't think about that. So let's go back. Let's park this here. What if I have the word, what if we have this word here? Because this is and this would be a ccvcc word, okay? Notice I have twins in there. Okay, so same thing. You're going to park the letter. So this is the beginning sound, right? This is the middle sound. And then the twins will get parked there together. And then they're going to find the red letter. They're going to look next door. There's a blue fly, so it's going to cry its baby sound, its short sound. I got twins at the end, so I'm going to cover up this last one. He can't speak, and the word is glass. Now notice that that you have twins at the end, so they could do all kinds of different words like this, like the word glass, okay? So they can do more words, or the word was gloss. They'd be able to decode that too. So whenever there's twins at the end, the second one's going to be quiet, or the last one's going to be quiet. So no different, okay? Just wanted to show you that. Last, I would have them work on nonsense words. Nonsense words aren't real words. That's what you can tell them. And working on nonsense words, it's going to help them learn where the blends live too. So I would tell them, let's number this word. Let's park the letters. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters, 3 parking spots. You know there's going to be blends in there. Could be digraphs too, but today we're working on blends for the student. So let's figure it out. Well, these two belong together. And remember, blends can live in the beginning of the word and they can live in the end of the word, or they can live in both ends, you want to tell them. So next is 2, that's the middle sound, and these 2 right here have to live together. So you have blends in the beginning and blends in the end. So now that they know their blends, you can they'll be able to decode this word. So here's the red letter. There's a blue fly, so it's going to cry its baby sound, its short sound. So you're going to do a short sound there. So they can decode this word. They know this is glassed. And I'd ask them, is that a real word? It's not a real word. And then how many red letters? There's 1 red letter. So you built a 1-syllable word. And is this sound a short sound or a long sound? They can look at it. It's a short sound. Or they can go back and say the sound. It's a short sound. And where are your blends at? I have my L blends here and my S blend at the end. And remember, we taught them blends in the last videos. So it makes it simple for them to decode a word like this. So you can practice nonsense words with them. So today we worked on blends in our words, and on our next video we're going to work with digraphs in our words. So our words are going to be getting bigger, so we're still on one syllable words, but we'll be moving to 2 syllable words soon. All right, we thank you for watching Directional Learning, and we can't wait to teach you more.